Okay guys, so there's a lot of things I can't just show you in the tub with this design. So I'm going to put down the microphone, I'm going to conduct a test, and then we're going to discuss it. And I'm going to show you what's up. And if everything goes the way it's supposed to, I'm going to set the boat down in front of the fan, right in front of it. You'll see how much wind is in those sails. I'm going to put the fan on every angle, including head on, from the side, right, left, and from the rear. And you should not see any of the magnets pop. Then I'm going to turn the fan on to level 2. Then I'm going to turn it on to level 3. And when I turn it on to level 3, you should see magnets popping on level 3. We might even see some magnets popping on level 2. That is one big arse industrial fan, and it's literally 2 feet tall. I'm going to go, and just so you guys can see that this is no bull, I'm going to measure it for you, and you're going to see for yourself. So let's just move this up close, shall we? Problem is I'm connected with a so that is 21 inch guy. 21 inches is where that came out to. And you can see that's correct. That's a 21 or 22 inch diameter fan. It's actually 21 at this edge, but if you go by the widest edge, it's 22. So that's a pretty big fan. I'm going to show you guys the make. Okay. And then I'm going to show you back here. Why? Just so you can see that it is, in fact, of the 3-speed variety. So I am just going to set the phone down, and we are going to go to town, and we're going to see what happens. I'm going to see if I can grab this and pull it over without disconnecting myself, and maybe we can discuss it while I do it. So, on level 1, we turn it to the side, and as you can see, nothing's popping, nor should it. These are equating light winds. So I can spin it all around, and if I don't bang the boat like I just did and knock one, they won't just come out. In fact, none of these will come out under that kind of wind. They're not supposed to. This is the light weather sail in the front right now, and it takes the least amount of wind, guys. So you're going to come with me, and we're going to turn it up. Up one notch, and you can see it's taking pretty good wind now. This is shaking and a rocking and a rolling, but it's not doing any flapping. None of the edges are doing the kind of flapping that they were before. Look at the nice pocket this sail has. Right now, this would be driving the boat forward really well, but even on this silly foam block, it's not being driven to kick the boat over sideways, because in these kind of winds, it's most certainly able to handle that. But look at this. In the right winds, especially when you're coming onto a headwind, this would be the kind of wind where the boat would be heeling right about here. It's a really sweet setup, guys. Now you see that? I just popped one of the sails. Why? Because it's trying to heel over. It wants to heel over, but it's not because the boat would normally heel over in these winds. Normally it wouldn't. In fact, taking it off the block is a lot more realistic. But you can see this is definitely enough wind with all 3 sails open to pop that. And it's a tension thing. So we're going to flip it around, and we're going to see if it wants to pop the other side. Sure enough, it does. So this is a good setup, guys. Right around the time it gets to the point where it wants to flip the boat over, it won't. Let's test another theory I had. If from the rear it can reopen this, that's a good thing. It doesn't reopen it all the way, but it does reopen it significantly. As you can see from the front, it'll close it, but then when the wind's coming from the rear, it can reopen this as well. And this one, which is the storm sail, has not really cared to pop. If it does, it's because it's put so much pressure on it by this back sail that it pops. So now that this one's popped, this one won't. Okay? Until we get really high wind, or I put it right in front of it. But even still, this is not a boat that's heeling over hard or even trying to. I could easily tip this boat over if I wanted. But look at the angle of the mast. Look at the angle of the sails. They are doing the heeling, and the boat is not. That is part of this design, guys, and it works epic. So, now we're going to flip it back around to the front, and we're going to see if it can now open these sails to some degree. And you'll see when wind comes in from the rear, it technically can, but the wind would have to be coming evenly across the stern of the boat pretty much. And even then, it's not just pushing a lot of wind, which is good. If this were able to just open, that'd actually be bad. And the reason is, look at that. It just slammed them open. That was great. And in addition, when taking wind from the rear at this level, it's not even an issue. And it's kind of sweet. So we're going to turn it up one more time, and I'm going to show you how it handles really high winds. Now remember what I said, some flapping is good. So let's now flip it around. And look at that. Again, you see the boat is not heeling hard at all, or even trying to, but the mast system is heeling hard. The sail system is heeling hard. And what do you see? The two sails now appear as one. And they literally function as one. If the winds are heavy enough, look at that. If the winds are heavy enough, they'll push this over. And these two will act as one sail. Just like I'm showing you here. See that? It reacted instantly to that wind input. Now it's locked that magnet back in place because it was pushed over hard enough. But this one in the back hasn't been, and it's still kind of moving. But in the end, I can just set it down. It won't just go over, guys. This is a great design, and this is why I wanted to share it. Now, this wouldn't be great for a real boat, guys, but for an RC, this is epic because what it means, and look at that, as soon as I come out of the wind, it comes back up. Now we're going to reset our sails, and I'm going to show you that there's no damage been done here. Boom, sails reset. Tension hasn't changed. It's all still solid. Everything's golden here. My transom's a little bit loose because I picked it up by that at one point, but that's all right. And in the end, the boat works great, guys. So this setup, definitely a success. It worked amazing. I really have to say that. It works absolutely amazing. If I have it in fairly low winds here, let's turn this down. And back to 1. Okay, so the overall verdict. This is a way better setup than a single sail because in light winds, you have double the sail area. But when it kicks up to the kind of winds that'll heel over the boat, it'll also heel over the sail. This sail can only go to here, so if the wind's coming from this angle, it's no problem. On the other side, you'll notice that you actually have almost the exact same sail area because it can still take this sail. But when the wind is pushing hard, the pressure on this sail contributes to this. So if there's enough sail pressure between the two, it pops this, and you still don't get the boat just going over on you. And these two can actually travel quite freely because it's just a line. Thread, and it's loose, as you can see here. It's not tightly woven so that and lashed on as hard as I can, like I was lashing the mast down or something. It's just as loose as possible while still maintaining the correct tension so that it can slide across freely. This is actually exactly the same. I don't have it super tight. I have it so it's a guide, and when the wind's pushing, it can pull and push on this a little bit. That's a good thing. So this is a cool design, but it is harder to build, but it's cool as hell. And if you're going to build an RC, trust me when I tell you you want this. The only thing I would say is that if you're going to build it the way I have, use a stronger wire than this craft wire. I've broken it a couple times just in testing, but never ever by wind. but you'll work on it, and that'll be enough. Keith out.